So let's dive more into personality when it comes to Digimon Story Time Stranger, because I don't feel like anyone's publicly talking about it and information is out there. They're talking about changing personality and the benefits, but I don't think anyone's ever sat down and identified the skills. So let's talk about it. Now, obviously, you know the personalities are all in certain categories, and certain categories have direct effects, which is which stat is being increased and focused on, as well as passive effects. Passive effects are cool, not really something I would focus on because they change as soon as you change the personality. If you're going for friendly though, that's actually my favorite because when you train at the Digifarm, 10% extra chance to get a personality skill change, and I really like the personality skill in friendly, so that's a fan favorite of mine. But take a look, pause the video, whatever you need to do. But these are the passive effects of each personality. I actually didn't know about these until I specifically looked it up, unfortunately. But yeah, these are pretty good. Now let's start with the valid category, right? Now, any means that as long as you're in Valor, you have any chance of getting any of these two personalities, either when you talk to your Digimon or train at the farm. I train at the farm a lot, so I always see these. And since mostly what I focused on were Valor, I was always getting these as my personality changes, right? But then there's specific personality skills for each personality. So Zealous, if you're training a Digimon specifically in Zealous, they have a chance to always act first. Now, the fastest way to get a personality skill is to switch from one personality to the next. So you can switch back and forth between Brave and Zealous at the farm, FYI. But there's a small chance they get the ability to always act first or boost attack for the first 3 rounds. The earlier the round, the greater the boost to the attack. So that's really cool. So you get a boosted attack and it slowly decreases every round, right? So that's cool. Brave, you have extra technique slices. I recognize this because a lot of my Digimon were Brave, and you have Vitality Theft. That's what my Agumon Bond is currently running, right? That's one of the secret personality skills. Reckless is boost attack when the HP is 90% or lower. I've seen that as well. That's pretty good. When you lose HP, you get more attack. Chance of countering with an attack when being attacked. So this is actually a really good move if you want to give your Digimon innate counter. Keep in mind that once they get one of these skills, you can switch from this personality and keep the personality skill, which is exactly what I did with a bunch of them. Right, Daring and Stout Defense, boost defense based on user's HP if you're trying to build a tank. Strategic Order, boost crit rate by 5%. This is the one I actually like the least. Philanthropy, right? You have Any, which is Healing Wisdom, reduce SP cost by skills, and also recovers 10% of target's max SP when using skills to recover an ally's HP. These are, again, the top two of the generic ones you'll get just by entering Philanthropy, and you have these follow-up ones. Always Act Last. Not bad unless, you know, you're using a debuff or a healer. I don't know if that like tank healer. I don't know if that's just super important, but not bad. And then Prayer Aid, which is really good, slightly recovers HP of all allies at the start of each round. This actually is scaled based on the SPI. Devoted also removes target's injury when using skills to recover an ally's HP. So that's all good. Healing now removes injury. And then this scales SPI as well. So you're looking through it, right? Tolerant, boost defense when HP is 90% or lower. Another tanky one, which is pretty cool. Tolerant, Steadfast Heart, Rally Blessing, revives with 50% HP when KO'd once per battle. So this is a nice quick revive if you're looking to build that. And then Always Acts First is actually phenomenal. I've used it a couple times, overprotective, and overheals 200% HP. And you know, even though the game shows a cap of 99999 HP, this still counts and doubles that. So if you have 999 HP, your HP can go to over 18,000 thanks to this skill ability. So it's really cool. Amicability, I'm actually, one of my favorite personality skills is in here. Again, you have the Any, which is Cheer Prankster, right? Start a battle, boost attack, and then for all allies, I've seen that. That's pretty cool. Boost probability rate of skill debuffs. That's also pretty cool. Opportunistic, slow starter, boost attack from round 4 or onward. So this is for really good for long battles. The more rounds pass, the greater the attack boost. At the start of battle, reduce defense and SPI for all enemies based on bond of all battle members. So again, an immediate debuff for this personality, planning ahead. So that's really cool. I wouldn't recommend using this for the end game boss, but overall it's still a pretty good ability. Friendly. Now, friendly is one of my favorite ones. Strategic,
Boost crit rate by 5%. I don't like that one. That's not the one I like. Fortifying charge. That's the one I use on my Gabumon. Boost all target stats when using skills to recover an ally HP. I literally gave him X aura or aura, depending on where you are in the game, and everyone gets boosted. This includes the Digimon itself that's healing. That's why it says also. So themselves and their team all get boosted. So that's what I've been using. And then you look at the rest. Sociable extends duration of debuff effects applied by the user's skill for 2 turns. So extends debuff. That's pretty cool. Boost damage dealt by the user when hitting an enemy weak point after an ally does. So that's more like a continuous crit. Not a fan of this one, but I can see why it would be useful. Compassionate Stout Strength, boost attack based on user's HP. You got max HP, you're gonna have a crazy attack boost. And this is actually really good for a tanky person. If you're using HP and defense, you can get an attack boost while you're at it. Hustle Cry, extended duration of buff effects applied by the user skill for 2 turns. So phenomenal if you're using a buff Digimon. But again, my favorite one is Fortifying Cry. And last but not least, Wisdom, right? Again, a lot of these you can get by training at the farm, FYI. Wisdom. Magical Wisdom, reduce SP cost for all magic attack skills by 10%, attack and deals magic damage. These are the common ones. Again, Enlightened, intense focus, boost innit for the first 3 rounds. This is basically the same as the attack boost for the first 3 rounds, but now you have innit. Boost crit rate by 20, crit damage by 20%. This one's really good, especially now that if you have a higher bond percentage, you have an increased crit rate. So this one's now really good. Sly, you got meditation. Sorry for the focus again. Boost innit for round 4 onward. So this is again now innit. Your magic type Digimon get a boost for long-term battles. I might actually put this on Homegirl Mastermind. I wasn't really patient enough to do it, but I might do it. Try it now. Combo magic. Chance of activating skill again when using a magic attack skill. This, the lower the HP, the greater the chance. This is basically double attack, boy. Double attack for magic users. Phenomenal. Either one I get on Sly, I will keep. Astute. This is where Mastermind is currently standing, right? Boosting it when HP is 50% or lower. I don't have that. And I have Magic Theft. Recovers SP equal to 10% of magic skill damage dealt. I'm actually going to switch to Sly and try to get that. And then the last one, Strategic, always act last. Not a fan, especially when it comes to magic users, but I get it. It'll help heal. Slightly recovers SP of all allies at the start of each round. Also not bad, right? Endurance. Anyway, that's me going through breakdown of personalities. Again, you can get these by talking to them and switching personalities back and forth. Whenever you switch a personality back and forth, you have a chance to get one. So for example, if you were an Astute and you didn't get Astute, you switch to Sly, is a chance for you to get a new personality skill in Sly, and it's going to be either one of these two with a combination of the two up top. So you have a 1 in 4 chance to get the one you want if you're looking for a specific one down here. Well, I shouldn't say 1 in 4 because there's actually a higher chance to get these up here. And then you just keep switching back and forth to prompt the thing skill. Sorry for the long video. I hope this clears things up and helps you identify what kind of personality skills you might want. Thanks.